Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you on Game On. I'm Meha Bhardwaj Alter. Lots to talk about from the match from last night as well as the game that is coming up tonight between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Mumbai Indians. We'll start with that preview for the game that's coming up. The match tonight is between two teams that are coming off losses in their season openers, and they will look to change the result around in this game. Mumbai Indians lost to Gujarat Titans in Ahmedabad by 6 runs, while Sunrisers Hyderabad came within touching distance of recording the 4th highest successful chase in IPL history against Kolkata Knight Riders. So far in the 7 matches that have been played in IPL 2024, the home teams have won every game, and Sunrisers will want to continue that trend. Sunrisers Hyderabad's Hardik Klaasen was their top run getter in 2023, having scored 448 runs at a strike rate of 177, and he's already begun this season with a bang. He almost took his team over the line with an explosive 63 off 29 balls, nearly upstaging Andre Russell. And tonight there will be a mouth-watering battle between Klaasen and Mumbai's best bowler, Jasprit Bumrah. Bumrah missed all of last year due to injury, but he straight away showed how important he is to Mumbai's success after returning with the figures of 3 for 14 against Gujarat Titans, in which he bowled 2 of his overs in death. Given the form Klaasen is in, Hardik Pandya is likely to keep a few overs of Bumrah just for the Sunrisers batter. Hardik Pandya's homecoming has been anything but smooth in Mumbai Indians colours. Not only did MI lose their first game under his captaincy, his decision on the field have also raised a few eyebrows, like opening the bowling himself and then bringing on Jasprit Bumrah only in the 4th over of the Titans' innings, and then batting at number 7, below Tim David. That's not all. He was booed at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad and was trolled badly on social media, especially for asking Rohit Sharma to field on the boundary. The question is, will Hyderabad be kinder to Hardik Pandya? Suryakumar Yadav continues to be unavailable for Mumbai Indians as he recovers from ankle surgery at the National Cricket Academy in Bengaluru. He's also unlikely to be fit for Mumbai's first home game on 1st of April. Mumbai went in with 3 foreign players in their last game in the playing 11 when bowling against the Titans, replacing Luke Wood for Dual Brevis while chasing. For Sunrisers Hyderabad, they'll have to wait for Wanindu Hasaranga, who's still out injured. They went in with Marco Jansen, and Aiden Markram was there. There was, of course, Hardik Klaasen and Pat Cummins. These were the 4 overseas players. Marco Jansen, though, now many are wondering, would he still continue to be their bowling option in the lineup given he was expensive against the KKR, or would they look to replace him? If we look at the head-to-head records, Hyderabad and Mumbai have played 21 IPL matches so far. Sunrisers Hyderabad have won 9 of those and Mumbai 12. Sunrisers Hyderabad's highest total against Mumbai so far is 200, and MI's highest score against Hyderabad is 235. In the last 5 IPL matches between the two, Mumbai have won 4. So it is tilted in Mumbai's favour, though it will be played at the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium in Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad last won against Mumbai in IPL 2022. So a lot to look forward to. Pat Cummins, Sunrisers Hyderabad's coach, how will he play? How will he captain Sunrisers Hyderabad against Mumbai Indians? Remember, both these teams coming off losses. They will want to get a win under their belt tonight. Okay, now let's talk about the game from last night. Chennai Super Kings won their 2nd straight game in the Indian Premier League as they got the better of the visiting Gujarat Titans by 63 runs at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai last night. On a pitch that was very different from the slow surfaces one is used to seeing in Chennai, the hosts set GT a huge target of 207 and restricted the visitors to 143 for 8. Captain Ruturaj Gaikwad, he got an early reprieve as R. Sai Kishore dropped an absolute sitter to let the CSK captain off the hook. Gaikwad didn't let that chance go to waste as he, along with Rachin Ravindra, got off to a quick start. While Ravindra was aggressive, hitting a couple of boundaries of Umesh Yadav to get off the mark, Gaikwad was happy to rotate the strike. Ravindra, in fact, whacked Azmatullah Omarzai for 2 back-to-back 4s and continued the onslaught, bringing up 50 for CSK in just 4.2 overs. The New Zealander displayed his wide arsenal of stroke play to move into the 40s in no time. Gill brought in his ace, Rashid Khan, to break the partnership, and the spinner dismissed Ravindra for 46 of just 20 deliveries. GT's overseas recruit Spencer Johnson, he was welcomed to the bowling attack by a 6 from Gaikwad, and CSK cruised to 100 in 10 overs. The Yellow Army then lost Ajinkya Rahane to Sai Kishore's spin, but in came Shivam Dube, who straight away hit 2 sixes in the first 2 deliveries he faced. Gaikwad was halted short of his half-century as he nicked one back to the keeper of Johnson's ball to be dismissed for 46. But Dube continued his assault, hitting sixes all over the park to leave the Titans bowlers helpless. The 30-year-old made 51 of just 22 deliveries before being scapped by Mohit Sharma. Samirrisby then thrilled the crowd with his 6-ball 14-run knock, which included 2 maximums before Mohit got his second of the day. GT's opening partnership was broken thanks to a DRS as skipper Shubman Gill was removed for just 8 runs by Deepak Chahar. The pacer doubled his wickets tally as he sent Riddhiman Saha for 21 shortly after. The stadium erupted as Dhoni pulled off a stunning catch, diving to his right to dismiss Vijay Shankar as Daryl Mitchell collected his first scalp in yellow. Gujarat were 80 for 3 in the midway point, and in that innings with a mountain left to climb. Sai Sudarshan, David Miller, they tried to score but eventually lost their wickets as the asking rate kept climbing up. Eventually, Chennai limited Gujarat to 143 in their 20-over quota to register a mammoth win. Now, when CSK fans got the news that Devon Conway had injured his thumb right before the IPL and he will not be in action till May, they knew the huge void that would leave in the CSK camp, that would leave in the CSK camp, given how consistent Conway was at the top of the order. He was their highest run getter in 2023 and also won the Man of the Match award in the final. However, CSK have got an able replacement for Conway in Rachin Ravindra, who's already played 2 brilliant innings to help CSK win their first 2 games. After his 37 of 15 deliveries versus RCB, Rachin Ravindra scored 46 of 20 balls to get Chennai to an explosive start against Gujarat, where they eventually posted 206. Rachin punished the GT attack comprising of Azmatullah Umarzai and Umesh Yadav and Rashid Khan. He hit 6 fours and 3 sixes, much to the delight of the Chennai crowd. The youngster left Chennai crowd absolutely mesmerized. In fact, a left-hander has looked comfortable in both the games. He's shown that CSK were right in picking him for a steal in just 1.8 crores in the auction last year. Rachin has repaid CSK's faith with blazing starts in both matches in what promises to be an incredible season for him in the Indian Premier League. Now, Rachin has marked off a phenomenal 2023 season by winning the ICC Emerging Cricketer of the Year award. The all-rounder was one of the top young performers of the year majorly during the ICC ODI World Cup in the same year. The Wellington-born player was superb at the 2023 ODI World Cup, where he amassed 578 runs in 9 appearances, featuring 3 centuries and 2 50s. And now, what an absolutely explosive start Rachin Ravindra has given to CSK in the 2 matches that he has played so far. Clearly, at this point, Conway is not being missed by CSK fans. Now, Mike Hussey, CSK's batting coach, like everybody, is thrilled to have Rachin Ravindra and his team. He said he's just trying to soak up as much knowledge as he possibly can. I think he really feeds off the crowd a bit as well. And yeah, once you've got a couple of good shots away earlier, I think his confidence grew and he believed that I can perform on the stage and grow from there. I think he has gone out there with a clear mind and a nice positive attitude and got off to a good start. There's not a lot to work on with these level of world-class players. Let's talk about another star performer for CSK, Shivam Dube. He dazzled the Chennai crowd yet again last night as he hit 6 after 6 to take CSK's total to over 200. Dubey came in and hit R. Kishore for 2 consecutive sixes, which showed how dangerous he's been against the spinners. When Kishore bowled full right outside the off stump, Dubey dropped down on one knee to slog sweep him over long on. And when Kishore went around the wicket, tried to take the ball away from Dubey's hitting arc, he still got to it. That's how brilliant his reach is. He hit the left arm spinner for a bigger six over mid-wicket. That was not all. He then lined up the best spinner in the world, Rashid Khan, launching him over long on for another 6. He'd faced 10 balls, but he'd already scored 24 of them. That's what Shivam Dube does for CSK since joining them in 2022. And he's become this franchise's trump card in the middle overs. Chennai have also realized how to use him well, which is at number 4 or 5, where he can take on the spinners and send the opposition bowlers' plans out of whack. It is this incredible 6-sitting ability, especially in the middle overs, when opposition teams look to slip in a few quiet overs with spinners, that has made Dube a super hit among fans at Chepauk. His strike rate of 162.56 against the spinners is the best among Indian batters, and with this tall frame that he has and the big reach, he can just stand and bludgeon sixes out of the park. Dube has also done well in the last 6 months after he scored back-to-back half-centuries against Afghanistan in January, showing he can replicate his success in the IPL on the international stage as well. Now the question is, will the selectors be looking at him as their all-round option along with Hardik Pandya come the T20 World Cup right after the IPL? Now Dube's 6-sitting ability has left his CSK captain impressed. Ruturaj Gaikwad said, and I quote, "Just confidence. When he, Shivam Dube, came here, the management worked with him personally. Mahi Bhai worked with him personally. He knows what role he's playing and which bowler to take on." Before the IPL began, everybody wanted to know who Samirrisby was, on whom Chennai Super Kings had spent 8.4 crore in the IPL 2024 auction. Samir was handed a debut in the season opener against RCB, but he didn't get a chance to bat. But in the second game, his sparkling cameo grabbed all the attention after he swept the first ball he faced in the IPL off Rashid Khan for a 6 over square leg. The pressure was on the youngster as he came out in the death overs and had to hit big straight away, that too against one of the finest T20 bowlers in the world. But he didn't hesitate for a second as he hit a big maximum off the very first ball he faced in the IPL. He then boldly charged at Rashid and cleared the long-off fielder for another 6, despite not middling the shot. Those 2 sixes from Risby even brought a smile to MS Dhoni's face, who was all padded up, waiting for his turn as the cameras panned to him. Risby finished off with 14 of 6 balls, and he was warmly welcomed back by his teammates and the support staff. CSK don't usually rush newer, younger players into action, but the team management was so impressed with Risby's talent during the pre-season camp that they threw him into the mix right away. This is what Mike Hussey had to say about Samirrisby. He said, well, he's got a lot of natural ability and natural hitting ability. This is what Mike Hussey has said about Samirrisby. We've seen it at practice, especially against the spinners. I mean, he can hit a long way and he can hit the ball very cleanly. But it's still a big ask for a young player to come in for his first IPL game against arguably the best T20 bowler of all time in Rashid Khan and hit the first ball that you face for a 6. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? So we're very excited for him. He was excited to play, especially here at the Chepauk with such a great crowd, and I think that's the great thing about youth. They have no fear, so they can come out and just play with that complete freedom, right? It was also a bit of a masterstroke from the think tank as well, because I think we were all expecting MSD to come out and play those last sort of few balls, but they realized that he's got some natural power against spin, and that's why they wanted to send the youngster out. And he delivered 2 sixes at the end, which was great for his confidence. Talking about the think tank, we've got to also discuss Ruturaj Gaikwad and his captaincy. It was meant to be a battle of young captains in Chennai between Shubman Gill and Ruturaj Gaikwad, and it was Gaikwad who won this battle as a captain and as a player over Shubman Gill. Ruturaj Gaikwad, though, had the guidance of the legend MS Dhoni. He nevertheless has been impressive with his captaincy and his batting. Gaikwad not only has been making the right tactical calls in the field and the bowling changes, it's the ease with which he was batting against Gujarat that showed that he's taking on the mantle of captaincy well. Gaikwad scored 46 of 36 deliveries, letting his opening partner Rachin Ravindra take the more positive route as they built an important partnership of 62 runs of 32 balls to get Chennai off to a flyer. Take a look at that. 46 runs of 36 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. Shubman Gill, though, hasn't been able to hit a big score in GT's first 2 games. Last night, he was dismissed for just 8 by Deepak Chahar as GT struggle with their batting. It's a little early, but while the pressure's been on Ruturaj Gaikwad after he was given the captaincy of CSK, his batting form under that pressure has not dipped, and his knock against GT was a fine example of how good a batter he is, and CSK fans will be hoping to see more such knocks from their new captain. And CSK's batting coach Mike Hussey had this to say about Ruturaj Gaikwad and his captaincy. He said, "I think he's been fantastic. He's been well prepared. Him, Flem and MSD, they get together and they talk tactics before the game. But I think the way Rutu changes the bowlers around, the fielders as well, are very good. He seems very clear. The messaging to the bowlers is very clear as well. So I think he's sticking to the job brilliantly at the moment. I know he's got some good support around him, but he's a very smart guy and very cricket savvy guy. You know, he understands the game well. He's got a good team to work with as well, which helps as well. But I think he's been fantastic so far." Okay, with that, we're going to slip into a short break. Right after the break, Shubman Gill just didn't lose the game. He also lost 12 lakh rupees. We'll tell you how.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless.
Mind and body are entangled sensations.
That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Welcome back. Gujarat Titans skipper Shubman Gill was fined 12 lakh rupees for maintaining a slow over rate during their match against Chennai Super Kings. The Indian Premier League has issued a statement saying that as it was his team's first offence of the season under the IPL's Code of Conduct relating to minimum over rate offences, Gill will be fined rupees 12 lakhs. GT suffered their first defeat in the season as they went down to defending champions Chennai Super Kings by 63 runs, chasing a daunting 207. Gujarat were restricted to 146 for 8 by host CSK. Leading an IPL franchise for the first time, Gill's Gujarat Titans have won their opening match against Mumbai Indians by 6 runs. Moving on to football, Ukraine came from behind to beat Iceland in the playoffs to qualify for Euro 2024 finals. The Ukrainians were aiming to qualify for their first tournament since the Russian invasion of the country 2 years ago, and they were delighted. And they also delighted thousands of fans with that come from behind 2-1 win in the Polish city of Wrocław.
Ukraine's tear of despair turned to joy after qualification for the Euro 2024 football tournament was achieved with a dramatic 2-1 victory over Iceland in their playoff at a neutral but partisan Wroclaw Stadium in Poland on Tuesday.
It's a really was emotional moment. It's impossible, really. I don't believe it, but we are in Europe.
Viktor Sigankov and Mikhailo Mudryk scored second-half goals, as it was mission accomplished in a campaign where Ukraine have been forced to play home fixtures in Slovakia, Czech Republic, Germany and Poland following Russia's February 2022 invasion of the country that sparked a war which still rages.
I think it's definitely a very important win for all of us, for our country, for our players, and I'm personally very pleased for the players because these two games was very nervous, very difficult. And of course, before the games, after the game, we are telling all this win is for our supporters, for our country, for our people, for our soldiers who is now protecting our freedom. In this case, I think everybody's understand how is important this win now.
Albert Gudmundsson had put Iceland ahead in the first half, but they surrendered possession and the initiative as they struggled to contain their opponents for much of the contest.
Yeah, obviously we conceded two goals. It was a difficult game for us. We obviously had to defend a lot, but taking the lead and being 45 minutes from a major tournament is difficult to accept that we're not going there. But as I said, they scored 2 goals and possibly we could have defended better. But yeah, it's easy to be wise afterwards. We could have done a few things better, but it's what it is.
Chants of Ukraine rang around the stadium, the scenes of jubilation and yellow and blue flags waving not far removed from what might be expected if the game was in Kyiv. It is a 4th straight visit to the continental finals for Ukraine, who take their place in Group E with Belgium, Slovakia and Romania, against whom they opened their campaign on June 17.
Skateboarding wonder kid Skai Brown turned heads on Tuesday in central London with a performance at a half-pipe held by 2 vintage London buses near the city's iconic Tower Bridge. Brown had made world headlines by becoming an Olympic medalist at 13 in Tokyo. She won the bronze in the park competition at the Tokyo Games, where she became Britain's youngest summer Olympian. In February last year, then a 14-year-old Brown struck gold at the World Championship Skateboard Park competition in the United Arab Emirates city of Sharjah. It was the first qualifying event for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, and Brown's high score of 90.83 gave her the gold medal. Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Otani said on Monday that he was a victim of theft by his former interpreter and that he had never bet on baseball or knowingly paid a bookmaker in his first public remarks since the gambling scandal broke last week. Look at this story for more.
Baseball star Shohei Otani said on Monday he was the victim of theft by his former interpreter. At a Monday news conference, he said through an interpreter that he had never bet on baseball or knowingly paid a bookmaker.
Just on a personal note, I'm very saddened and shocked that someone who I'm trusted has done this.
They were Otani's first public remarks after a gambling scandal broke last week that led to the firing of his interpreter Ippei Mizuhara by his team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. ESPN reported last Wednesday that at least $4.5 million had been transferred from Otani's account to a Southern California gambling operation. And his attorneys told the LA Times last week that Mizuhara had used the ballplayer's funds to pay off an alleged illegal bookmaker who is reportedly under federal investigation. Questions surrounding Otani's involvement swirled after the media reports emerged during the MLB's opening 2-game series in Seoul where the Dodgers were playing. That appeared to have prompted him to address reporters days later, where he left without taking questions.
Up until a couple days ago, I didn't know that this was happening. Just to kind of just go over the result, in conclusion, Ipe has been stealing money from my account and has told lies.
Otani also said he was unaware Mizuhara had gambling debts. He has been by Otani's side since he joined Major League Baseball in 2018. Otani said Mizuhara admitted to him last week that he had been using the star player's account to make the payments, at which point he had contacted his lawyers. Otani added that he was assisting in all investigations into the matter. Reuters has been unable to reach Mizuhara for comment.
Well, that's it from all of us. If you enjoy our coverage, keep watching Game On right here on News 9 Live. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do